Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from children from all ages, we're here to discuss Monday Night Raw. Right after Mania, we're here to discuss what did The Rock give to Cody. What was it? Was it a piece of pebble to represent The Rock? Was it a memento? Who knows? What is it to bring? And we got a number one contender, and Drew's hatred continues against for CM Punk. And we got a squash match with our one and only Jade Cargill. And for those who think that this is another AEW 2.0, you guys can suck it, because there's more to it. We have an Indi Hartwell, maybe a feud with Candice in the future. That would be interesting. And we got the tag team of a lifetime, which is John Cena and R-Truth, the childhood hero, finally got the team up together. It was a moment for life. And we got a few NXT superstars coming in tonight. Can't wait for us to talk about that. Other than that, those were the highlights of the show. And let's get to it and have a fucking good time.
With anime in their souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a trio of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. That's right, we love professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling event of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all nerds. So go ahead, grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience like none other. Brought to you by AniMa W3 Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. And tonight, or morning, afternoon, whenever you're listening to this, we have, as always, our three lovely, lovely hosts of the show. It's the Watkins after Mania. And he is our people's champion, Legend D. Vash. But he better watch out, because cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase after holding it for 200-something odd days, we have Drop This Box. Boys, we have gotten through WrestleMania weekend relatively unscathed. WrestleMania 40 is finally in our rearview mirrors, and we are looking forward to the future with Cody's era officially beginning. But guys, how are we doing on this lovely eclipse-filled Monday day?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a good day, had a short day of work. Now I have some time to just, enjoy what Triple H gave us tonight. We have a couple interesting things leading into it, which is one of the things I look forward to, the Raw after Mania. I gotta say, this Raw after Mania completely blows the other one out of the water, and you can't really say it's a competition, really, because they really didn't put any effort at all whatsoever with the Raw after Mania that we got last year. Like, it just, honestly, I really didn't feel like a wrestling show. It honestly felt like you were just sitting down, just watching people put shit together and see if it sticks. That's honestly how it was last year. But with this show, even though I will say it wasn't like a super crazy show, it was still a very entertaining show, at least from my perspective. And I did enjoy what they gave us tonight, because one of the best things about the Raw after Mania is pretty much where they plant seeds for the upcoming future with like the upcoming PLEs, and also some long-term booking that we saw that we will get into with the first segment to discuss soon.
Oh yes, there's a lot to talk about with this first segment. But Vash, how you doing, buddy? I know you had a long day yesterday on stream, didn't you?
Yeah, man, it was a good less than an 8-hour stream we had. We did the press conference, we did the night 2 and the podcast right after. So thank you for those that has watched the night 2 review, night 1 review of WrestleMania 40, that saw me and Drop on the first one, and night 2, all three of us together in the beginning, and then me and Watkins wrap it up by the end. And now we're here for Raw after Mania. It's a pleasure. I want to give a shout out to us, the team, to experience our first WrestleMania coverage together, because we should pat ourselves in the back. with the hashtags, with the tweets, with the coverage that we did for this weekend. Because I know that this is only just the beginning. This is only, like Triple H has said, this is only the beginning for what we just getting started for. The content, the coverage, and the media stuff. So I can't wait for that. And how am I feeling for tonight, man? Raw After Mania kicks out what last year was. Last year was garbage, was a 0 out of 10. That shit was trash. Even the clips we see of Seth Rollins asking, why am I getting, what's my lights off, what's happening, what's being thrown off. Like, you saw the superstars being upset during that night. I remember tweeting, I remember texting Drop, asking him what's going on with this. And because during that time, all of us experienced what was the end of night 2 of WrestleMania 39 to get to where we are now. Experience WrestleMania 40. We are in the Cody era. We are in the Triple H regime. So I love that, to see those type of spots, to see that type of stories finally unfold, the chapter being closed and a new one being told. So I love that very much.
Yeah. Man, yeah, this show just, again, like you guys have been saying, blew last year out of the water. Everything. I remember talking to Vash during our sidecast. I looked at the time and I'm like, wait, it's already 10 o'clock? How? How is it already just 10 o'clock? I felt like between 8 and 10 o'clock just sped by so quick. I mean, I know roughly our first hour was commercial free, but it's like, the way this Raw After Mania was structured and how it was paced, it was leagues ahead of last year. Like Vash, you had pointed it out. It's like it felt like it was just put together like little pieces. Like, oh, this will be cool. We could do this here. And like nothing felt like it fit right. And this year, like we're fully in Triple H's creative. We're finally like we're kind of starting fresh with him in a way too, with a lot of stories like Cody. You know, his story, it's still going on. There's the stuff, you know, still with like Drew and CM Punk as well, but we're also getting new threads, like, you know, with our Sami Zayn and our Chad Gable, which we'll dive into more with all that. But yeah, we are fully in this Cody era. And to have him be able to start this night off with Triple H, just kind of celebrating his title win, it was really big. And kudos again to Cody for pulling off something that not many people thought he would be able to do, you know, whether it was 2 years ago or 8 years ago. Like, he pulled off something that really can cement his legacy in the WWE and just in pro wrestling in general.
He has done something that many people have been asking for. He said it. Many people, The Rock, the whole media outlets have been using the word pro wrestling is back. And I hate it how it's a hyperbole word, but it is back in the best way possible, in the most positive enlightenment when it comes to pro wrestling entertainment. So I love that for that. I wanted to take a quick second to tell chat, you guys are watching the YouTube. Also, we're live on Twitch. If you wasn't aware, we do go live on Twitch for the sidecast like we did watch Monday Night Raw. So you could check the whole reaction of myself and Watkins reacting. And also Drop came through to give us his thoughts about during the match as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. AniMa W3 Studio on twitch.tv. So definitely go check that out. I will be live watching NXT tomorrow on the sidecast. And definitely this Friday, as always, we're live at 10:30 p.m. EST for Smackdown once it goes off air. So always stay tuned for that. I want to give that quick was it that, you know, Triple H do, you know, give the numbers, you know, give the updates, tell the audience what they need to know first before we get on to our show.
Exactly. So yeah, as we move on to our show, again, Cody's celebrating his big title win here at WrestleMania, and this video package that they created, man, it hit hard in the heart. Like, it was done really well.
Question, was I the only one that laughed when Triple H said, hey, we don't have the Tron and everything, so we having this little TV? Why did I feel like I was in like in middle school or in elementary school when the teachers had a substitute and they come out with that like the backdoor TV and showing like you to just watch a movie throughout the whole class. This is what this felt like. Like everyone in the audience had to watch that one small TV so they could understand this whole video package, because that's what it was.
I mean, yeah, I again, it was just done really well. It almost got me teary-eyed again tonight.
It definitely got me, because even when I saw Cody's entrance last night, because whenever I watch wrestling, I always try to picture myself in that moment, like I was actually there, experience the whole thing, like not even like looking at what's really going on of me being at home watching it, but actually imagining myself there in person. Just seeing Cody's entrance last night got me emotional, and just seeing this video package put together showing where Cody was from the beginning all the way up until now, like I discussed last night, just showing his progress throughout his pro wrestling career. You know, it really did hit home. It was a moment that a lot of people, I even noticed online, a lot of my mutuals that I follow that, you know, give their thoughts on the show as it goes on. You know, a lot of them felt teary-eyed watching it. It was a very well done video package, and he definitely deserves this moment, because I'll say it again, he's pretty much what WWE has been wanting for the longest time. They want a face of the company, and Triple H even spoke about it last night. It's really hard to find a baby face that a lot of people can get behind. But it seems like they finally found that with Cody, where a lot of people get behind him, a lot of people love him, they don't get bored of him. And Cody's also very good with words. He knows how to, you know, really get the audience invested with the story he's trying to tell, or just in general, whenever he has a microphone in hand, he knows so well how to, you know, keep everybody invested with whatever he's saying. And I just really loved this segment in the beginning of the show, because it really shows that, yes, we're in a new era, especially, you know, if you look at it in this way, you know, Roman being dethroned was pretty much like ending that era that we were previously in. Like, now that Roman has been dethroned, now that we have a new champion, you know, things are really going to start kicking into motion for what kind of atmosphere Triple H wants us to expect moving forward with the WWE.
Yeah, and I do want to say this really quick, I guess, about the show overall too. Like, I had a group. I have another group chat that I talk wrestling with, and at the end of the show, they were like, "Wow, this was kind of a really," they were like, "a really boring episode." I'm like, "Really? Was it? I mean, we got all this great stuff, especially in the beginning," and I'm like, "How can you think it was boring?" And it just makes me think of like just this beginning part, because like. Like what you were saying, Drop, with like how the company's been trying to make that babyface somebody that the crowd won't get bored with. And I just think back to just today, like I saw some tweets of people being like, "Oh, can't wait for the fans to turn on Cody." It's like, well, I could see that. I could see why you would think that, because that does happen a lot in pro wrestling.
2-3 years, and it doesn't happen, and I don't see it happen anytime soon. But also, to add on top of that, anime reference here, how Dragon Ball is Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, how it's always action. When you start like that, how last night was all action, storytelling, pro wrestling, night 1, night 2, that's what it was. It was a spectate. But then we get to Raw After Mania, and it's more new chapter. It's the build up. It's the main event. It's an hour. It's a 45-minute conversation between Rock and Cody, with Triple H included. So all these things happen, but people calling it boring. I'm like, how you calling it boring when this is so much better than what we have last year? And when it comes to the product itself, it's giving you layers of what we could be getting. We have Bronson Reed, we have Jay Uso, we have Ricochet at the main event, and it was at almost ending at the 11 o'clock on the dot. That's how the match was going back and forth. And we have fucking picture-to-picture. First time on Monday Night Raw. We've been asking for this for 17, 18 episodes of for the past couple months, and we finally got it. This is a big shout out to the production team. Because, like, how can you ask us for boring when we used to guess, oh, what's happening during the commercials? And they will come in and, like, this is what happened during the commercial. No, we see the picture to picture. We see the sponsorship, the ads, whatever's going on. But we see the product still in the top left corner. That's what's meant for. Like, how you calling this boring? Like, when I saw that in JD's YouTube channel, people were saying their line up until he went live. I was just curious to see what people are saying. People are saying, like, oh my God, this was a boring Raw. Like, yeah, I disagree in a heartbeat. Twitter as well, yeah, are wanting to be saying that this was a boring Raw Mania. I'll give this as a Raw tonight overall, top of my head, a solid 8. It was enjoyable. It gave moments, a squash match. It had all its segments for the 3-hour show.
And
I honestly feel like
yeah, go ahead.
I honestly feel like people just say that because they want to feel different. Because no matter like what you say online, there's always going to be people out there saying, "Oh, well, why didn't you look at it this way? Why didn't you look at it that way?" Because like Watkins said earlier, I've seen people mention like, "Oh yeah, people are going to get bored of Cody and stuff like that." But I honestly feel like it's because they're so used to that old mindset that the boogeyman put us through. I don't really want to mention that guy's name. I'm just gonna say stuff like that, but they're just used to that whole system that we've had over the years and the predictability of how things are gonna play out all the time. But now that things are different, things are heading down a different direction, why should we feel that way anymore? Because I remember I was talking to my friends yesterday. It's like, oh, well, I don't know if we're going to end Mania on a feel-good moment. Like, I don't know if we're really going to see, Bayley win, and then we're going to see Cody win. Maybe Bayley's going to lose, and then we get that good moment with Cody. And then I was like, well, if you look at it from a story perspective, because I'm a very story-focused guy, and I'll bring up another anime reference. With Chainsaw Man, the first part of it was very action-focused. The second part of it is very character focused. Fujimoto's taking time to develop his characters, and he wants you to actually care about them. He wants you to understand why they're doing this and what led them to be the kind of person that they made himself out to be. And you look at the whole story with Bayley, it was her finally standing up to EO and the rest of Damage Control because they took advantage of her, kicked her to the curb. And it doesn't really make sense just to have Bayley look like a fool at the end of it. Like, the way that you're writing the story makes it seem like she's going to eventually get that power that she needs to stand up to EO, put an end to her, so she could, finally stand up to the bullies, finally destroy the very thing that she created. So when I heard him say that, I was like, it doesn't really make sense because the story they're telling is not heading down that direction. That's why you gotta really focus on the story that you're telling, because that's like my problem. Some people, they just care about, let's see all these people fight all the time. Let's see this, let's see that. It's the same thing with Battle Shonen, which is why AniMa W3 Studio is a good thing. We're all familiar with the anime and manga world. People are so focused on the fights. They don't pay attention to any character progression at all. And it's as clear as day. You see it.
Perfect example of that. Look at the reception people had when season 2 of Vinland Saga started.
Yeah,
it was a story-driven season, and people hated it and called it fucking boring.
Yeah, and they were saying that,
are you not seeing? Yeah, are you not seeing the brilliance that's happening on screen right now? Or like the subtleties that they were creating in that season, that early on, like, God, it was so freaking.
I just want to add towards what Drop said, because this is a perfect analogy, and it's not anime related. This is story driven related. Would you rather see a main character with 100 bullets, or would you rather see your main character with 1 bullet until the end of the film? He finally fires it, but builds the intensity, builds the story, builds the development of how and when and who's gonna get that one shot at the end of that movie. You have to tell the story of wrestling. Wrestling is scripted, but it's live action storytelling from what is the perspective of the writers and the actors on screen that is portraying the athleticism, and it's telling you to believe what is the good guy and the guy and the bad guy. That's what Lucha Libre has always been. That's where it first started from less than 100 years ago to what we are now. It has grown and has developed, and that's what we are getting. We are in the new era of what Triple H has said. We are. I remember in the pre-show of WrestleMania Night 2. I think it was Jackie that was having the interview with Triple H back in the headquarters. She asked him a question. How and where do you see the company in 5 years? That's a smart question to any businessman that's trying to build a company. He said it. I hope we are where we are, but better. Improve to what we are, because he sees the company 2 years from now, a year from now. But a 5-year question is hard because you don't know where you'll be. But the answer to that question was beautiful. I want us to be where we are, but better, grown, and improve. That's such a level mindset. And even Tony Khan, he even said as well that he would love to work with other wrestling companies. One company he ain't working for, that's AEW. I know that for sure, because Tony Khan, the other one, is too stubborn, too simple-minded to work as a business partner. But TNA, we're definitely going to see something with them in the future.
Oh yeah, because the stuff that we saw with Jordan Grace, and she even said it herself that this isn't going to be the last time you're going to see something like this. And this is also like another thing that's very telling that we're heading into a new direction, because Triple H always wanted to do stuff like that. He always wanted to work with different companies, and that's why you got something like that at the Royal Rumble, where you saw Jordan Grace debut in the Women's Royal Rumble, so people could be familiar of her, where she came from, and then people look at her and be like, oh hey, I want to check out TNA, I want to see what this girl does. Oh, she's the women's world champion over there, okay, let's see how she got to this level. So it doesn't just help like one company, it helps the other as well, where they're both able to grow together. So
Yeah, and like just to kind of tie all this back to like this whole boring comment about Cody. I mean, WWE has gotten way better at writing their baby faces, especially when they have to fight off against a final boss like The Rock, who just shows up out of nowhere, gets booed. Like the shower of boos that were happening when The Rock was out there, like he could barely talk. It was Dom levels. From what it sounded like for me, it was like Dom levels of booing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's like the first thing I noticed when I was watching The Rock, like when he came out and he was trying to talk to Cody, because you would have never thought with The Rock being there, The Rock would ever get booed, because whenever The Rock comes out, people love him, they cheer for him, they're always like standing up in ovation because they just love The Rock so much. So the fact that somebody like Cody could get to the level where people care about him more than The Rock is very telling, because I swear we have never seen anything like that before. And that just goes to show that WWE found their guy, but Rock couldn't even get a word in. People were saying a whole bunch of F-bombs and, you know, F this, F that, shut the F up, which definitely on Netflix, you could probably hear that shit. So USA doesn't have to block that out.
I'm just so mad with USA throughout the whole stream. It's like, yo, can you not?
They're just like, shut the up. I'm just like, oh, come on.
I'm pretty sure even on CW, they might even allow that on NXT when it goes over there. I don't really think they're going to care.
Maybe.
They will, because I believe when they were on CW many years ago, they used to let something slide. And also, a few of the shows back on CW, you used to let a few curse words slide, like one per episode, one every few episodes, and they would let us slide.
Yeah, that's the thing, because it's like, I get why they do it, but at the same time, you want to feel that energy from the crowd. You don't want to see a whole bunch of black screens. You don't want to hear like no noise for like 2 seconds because The Rock said the F word or whatever. I mean, if you really want everybody to feel that moment, you got to let it all out. Everybody knows what the F word is. Everybody knows when you call them an asshole or a bitch or whatever it is. Everybody knows what those words are. You're in wrestling. We've seen it before. It's not like it's going to be a repetitive thing where it's going to be said at every promo. But if it's like if you have a story that's like very story driven and you have a lot of hostility building up between whoever is in that promo battle between the both of them, if you have to get to that level where you got to say shit or whatever, just let it happen. Everybody knows what.
Yeah.
Everybody. Even if I drop my phone on the floor and be like, "Oh shit, were you gonna bleep me because I say that?" Like you gotta like just take time to understand, especially with the feedback that you see online. And it's not like it's like a huge deal, but it's just a lot better than finding somebody recording a clip on a live show where you actually hear the uncensored version of it.
The
Yeah.
the only homework I did this past weekend of listening to the content of WE that actually put out, because there's a fucking lot that I need to do homework tomorrow and Wednesday, is Impulsive with Triple H being on the show. I didn't listen to the full thing because he also spoke about The Rock being involved and how was the turn, the pivot, and everything. And he gave a lot of credit to The Rock. But the one thing I want to give out of that interview is that Logan Paul asked him a question: how is it about the cursing on the TV and everything? Triple H's response was, when it's meant for something, when it's meant for the product, that's when it's needed. But if you're going to curse throughout the whole promo, you're not giving any substance. And that's what it is. Substance to the product, and it's what brings the promo alive. And if you're having The Rock getting bleep, you're taking the audience that's watching at home out of it. Those couple seconds when you take us out of it, you have seen me on the sidecast, guys. If you go on Twitch.tv/AniMa W3 Studio, you will see me pissed. You'll be like, what the hell? I couldn't hear him. That takes me out of it because that takes me a good 10-15 seconds to wonder what he said, what he meant, and then I missed the next 5 seconds of what he's trying to bring up. So that is a disconnect to the audience. Again, this is about the TV side. But when it comes to Rock coming out with People's Champ title and holding the...
Can I hold yours?
Wait,
I'll let you hold mine.
Wait, it's not the Universal. It's the Undisputed.
It's just the WWE champion. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna call it the WWE title. Honestly, that's what it really is.
But they're calling it the Undisputed WWE title for now, still without the Universal name attached to it. Because with Samantha, she said it twice, so it was pretty interesting on that aspect. How did you feel, guys, about that? Because the audience didn't like that. The audience did not like about. They called it awkward. They called that.
It was. Awkward. Yeah, it was a very awkward moment because even I didn't really understand what was going on, and I don't really think it was really Cody. I think it was like more of a Rock thing because I think when Rock went out there, he was caught off guard with how the audience was reacting to him. Because, like I said before, Rock is so used to everybody cheering for him, loving him, and stuff like that. So with the Rock coming back like this year in WWE, actually inserting himself with an ongoing storyline and not just being there for like one-off appearances every 5 to 6 months or whenever he decides to show up, with him actually getting that reaction from the crowd, he's probably just caught off guard where he's like, wait, I'm The Rock, why am I receiving something like this? And he even thought, okay, after Mania things will change, because obviously I know everybody's on Cody's side, they want to see him win the big one, but it's still the same reaction. And that whole moment between like, oh, can I hold that one? And then Cody's like, oh, as long as they get to hold yours. And I'm like, well, why do you want to hold?
I love that he said that, because it's an equivalent exchange. Right, Drop is like, if you're gonna ask for mine, let me at least hold your People's Champ. It's fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it like you said, well, like many people said, it was like an awkward moment. I didn't really understand. I mean, I get what they're pushing because it's plain as day that Cody and Rock more than likely is going to be like Cody versus Rock for the undisputed WWE title at like SummerSlam. That's more than likely probably going to be the case because Rock even said, your story at Roman's done, but me and you, we just begun. But it's like, I don't know. I guess if I'm thinking about it now, maybe it's just them I guess that's just their way of like planting seeds where it's like, oh shit, is Rock actually, oh, I forgot to bleep myself. Is Rock actually going to, have the title? Like, that's obviously we know that's not going to happen, but people have it planted in their head where it's like, oh, is he actually going to be a WWE champion again?
Yeah, like, is he going to pull that off again? Is he going to take it from Cody, or is it going to be a thing where like Cody had lost it? Like we get the whole like what was it, WrestleMania 29 thing where it's like, oh, Cena won the Rumble, and then I'm not saying Cody's gonna win the Rumble again to take it from The Rock, but it's like,
Mm-mm.
you had the setup of, okay, how do we get to Cena Rock 2, and how do we raise the stakes? Oh, let's give The Rock the title off of CM Punk, but gotta get the title on Rock so that way Cena can beat him. It could be like a story like that they might tell, like maybe kind of paralleling that a little bit.
I would
That'd
say
be something.
that it was funny in that segment when
Hmm.
Cody and Rock was standing side to side in front of each other, and when he was trying to speak, The Rock was like having mic up and down, like hmm. Crowd was literally timing it very well the way Dominic would get booed and couldn't even say a single word. On top of that,
Hmm.
whenever The Rock tried to use his People's Champ title to give that extra, like, come on, guys, you will scream for me if I put the title up. No, they still
It
didn't do
didn't
it.
work.
But then Cody went out like,
Nope.
hold up. Before you try again, can you give me a second? I'm gonna go with my belt, and they wow for him on the front side, to the left side, to the
Yeah.
right side, and they wow for him. The Rock follow up that, nobody got excited for that. So I love how the parallel to see the pass of the torch, because the reason I'm saying that, the way The Rock said, "Do not break my heart," after he gave him a gift. What do you guys think of that sentence, "break my heart," and what do you think the gift was?
I think I know what he means when he says "Don't break my heart again."
Is when he
And I'll
left the
go in depth
company?
with no, I'll go in depth with that. So pretty much my analysis of how Rock feels about that is like I mentioned before. Rock's so used to people cheering him all the time because obviously he's known as the people's champion. The people are always on his side, and ever since he came back, he never really got that feeling, especially when he involved himself with Cody, wanting to finish his story because a lot of people were so invested in that story, and Cody was incredibly over, and the people just love Cody so much. It almost feels like what Rock had before was ripped away from him, and now
Hmm.
Cody has it in his possession. And I believe that's probably why he says, "Don't break my heart again," because the way that he acted with the crowd whenever he was making fun of somebody or whatever, people are always with him for the ride. But now it's like people don't give a shit about him. It's like, oh, okay, Cody, you took my main event away. You took all the
Hmm.
people that loved me away. It's almost like,
I see it.
Cody is pretty much taking all of that aura from The Rock and just absorbing it into himself. That's honestly how I look at it. And even like when they have that match at SummerSlam, which I'm pretty confident that's probably what's gonna happen. I don't see why they would like save that for like next year. It's probably gonna be a SummerSlam match. I feel like that's definitely gonna cement Cody and bring him to new levels once he beats somebody as monstrous as The Rock. Because even The Rock said,
Hmm.
you know, um, you beat Roman, but you never beat me because 24 hours before I was the one that pinned you. So once that happens to Cody, and once Cody beats him, which I'm pretty sure he will,
Yeah.
because Rock, you're getting to the point where you got to put people over. You had your time to shine, and even when all these other people, like once Rhea gets to a certain point where she needs to start building up these other girls that are coming up in the division, everybody's still gonna love her. She's gonna be bulletproof. If she loses a match, it's not gonna affect her. But
Yeah.
how is Rock gonna feel if Cody beats him at that point? That's what I'm trying to think. Is it real? Is it really gonna mess him up in the head? Oh, you took everything from me. You took my main event. You took my fans. You took everything away from me. Now I'm just dust in the wind. Nobody cares about me anymore. Like that.
Well,
That's how I
I
took the
think,
whole message. Where it's like, don't break my heart again.
How about
I
you,
think
Walkers?
part
How
of
did you
that
get the
too.
message?
Well, I think part of that too. You can kind of tie into this little in this little interaction of Cody's to Rock, basically, like at least with the tail end, with it being like, you are my boss, but I am your champion. It's like,
Yeah.
I think
I love that line.
that was Cody's way of trying to be like, yeah, you write the checks, well, I mean, he doesn't actually write them, but whatever. You
Yeah,
know,
I get
you
what you
write
mean.
the checks. You are the person that we have to report to and all that stuff. But hey, I am your representative. I am the person that goes out to these interviews. I am the person that is your global.
Your
There's
global
another word for
It pretty
representative,
much
but anyway,
means, yeah,
yeah,
your
he's pretty
face of
much
the company.
I am.
representing.
Yeah, yeah, I am your face. I am your company. I am your champion. I am the one that puts this company on his shoulders and makes sure that we can sell out these places. Like, and I think that kind of ties into that whole breaking my heart thing really well because
Mm.
maybe the breaking the heart wasn't the Cody thing. Maybe his broken heart came from Roman losing because Cody did beat Roman. He initially like took down somebody that Rock appointed as their leader.
Yeah.
That too, because
So it's just like,
during last night two, after Roman took the 1, 2, 3, Roman had a beautiful moment walking up the ramp with Paul Heyman,
mhm,
showing that vulnerability, but also smiling. The Rock was still standing there watching everyone pass Roman and seeing like The Rock was still hurt. Like, wait, I can't take this. Like, he was showing that, like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Cody's the one there
yeah,
taking his oldest win, and my tribal chief is walking down the ramp or walking up the ramp, and he's taking
upset.
this L upset. Like, nah, the
Yeah,
Rock was not okay with this as the final boss and everything. I agree with what you said, Watkins and Drop, about this meaning more to the layers,
It could
meaning more
honestly
to the
just
audience.
it could honestly
mhm.
just be a mixture of both,
Oh
honestly.
yeah,
Just
Oh yeah,
taking
oh
all
totally, yeah.
taking his aura away and then,
Hmm.
taking something from his family that meant a lot to him.
but the
And see,
question
that's the
is,
beauty of
what was the
this.
gift
That's
though?
like,
See,
well, yeah.
see the thing. I can't really say I know. I don't know
No,
if
no.
it's more.
What are your theories? Like, you guys got any theories? Because I have one.
Well, I'll say this. I'm not 100% sure if it's an actual gift. I don't know if it's more of a saying.
Hmm.
That's how I personally
It's
took
just
it.
interesting because the camera shot was showing his right hand pocket and he was dapping it and then showing the belt. So like the camera
Oh,
panned down and show his pocket being held with Cody, like just like my man was securing that pocket, like he was, and like
oh,
the body expression of his face. So it's like he did get something we just didn't see. And I don't know if the front row took a camera and then we're gonna probably see what it was, but maybe it was so hidden that we didn't get no eyesight because it's interesting.
yeah.
Like this 45-minute segment, again, commercial free hour for 45 minute second of just Rock just being upset with his ego and not talking got me a bit upset. Like, my guy, let us use these minutes wisely. But nope, he just kept doing whatever the fuck he wanted, and that was just getting me annoyed
Hmm.
in the best way possible. And because he is the final boss, he could do what he want. But at the end of the day, he's reading the room, he's reading the energy, so he was controlling the crowd in the best way possible.
Yeah, more on the gift, honestly. Like I said, yes, we can theorize on it, but it's honestly hard to say. But there's really nothing pointing to like what it could possibly be.
The only theory I
Like it
saw
needs to
online
be.
is MJF ring. I don't know if that brings
That doesn't
anything.
make that.
It makes
Yeah, that
no
doesn't
sense.
make any
So
sense.
that's one thing I
Yeah.
saw online being pop up, and I'm like, how does this connect with The Rock? Why would he have it? He has no connection from AEW, and I'm like,
What
what?
is he gonna?
Like, I'm like, when I see people bring out these theories, I'm like, cool. Y'all doing horrible bookings. Glad that none of y'all are in charge of a company because,
Dude, I'm sorry.
like, at
You
least I
just
have good
saying that
ideas.
I'm sorry. You just saying that is making me think of like the Prime bottle with Speed just randomly showing up last night. That is the most wildest shit I've ever heard all day. Why, out of all things, Rock's gonna go up to Tony Khan. He's gonna want Tony to contact MJF, and MJF is already vocal with Rock on Twitter as it is because his ex-girlfriend did a painting of Rock messing up Cody that one time, and then Rock saying how he wants to buy it. So he's really gonna go to that extent to like try to have Tony Khan like get a little like fishing rod and try to get the hook to get the ring off of MJF. It doesn't really make any
Look,
sense. That would be the most random shit.
Look,
And why would that matter to Cody?
Exactly. So it's just weird. Like that's the only theory I saw.
Wait,
and I'm like,
hold on.
how does
What do you mean that? Hold on. Wait.
And I'm
hold
just
on.
shitting on it because it's funny.
That does matter to Cody though, because Cody was the one that brought MJF into AEW. He was the one that like kickstarted MJF's career in AEW. So like, there's ties with that, and also money talks. Just
I
throwing that.
No, I get that.
There, yeah.
I get that.
I get that.
But what does this connect between Rock and Cody? How does this MJF relation connect to? Like, I understand if we didn't get the Rolex watch last night at the press conference when it came to Dusty, then I will understand that if The Rock handed the Rolex to Cody himself, then that would make sense. Like, here,
I get that.
I've been holding the Rolex of your father. I found it in a pawn shop. He helped you go to acting school. Boom, I found this. I bought it off. I've been holding it to give this to you. I will get that reasoning that that's a gift. But, like, what else could it be? So it's very curious to see if the time comes in the future, if we ever get to find out what the fuck it is, what it was, cool. If not, it will probably be some way revealed in June or July before their fight.
Yeah, it's like I get like the whole thing of him and MJF. I get that. It's just going off more what Vash said. What does that have to do with Cody and Rock? Like, it needs to be more of a mutual thing between the both of them. And the only thing I could really think of is maybe it's something that Dusty could have possibly gave Rock. And maybe Rock's giving it back to Cody. That's the only thing I can really think of, because Rock's mentioned before that Dusty's like one of his heroes. So maybe it's a memento that Dusty passed on to Rock that Rock ended up giving Cody. That's the only thing I can really think of, because at least with that, there's a connection between the two because they both admire him. So whatever item that Rock gave Cody, that would make sense if it was something along the lines of that.
The only thing that's keeping me from thinking of it being a memento from Dusty is Cody's reaction to it.
Yeah, because he was more angry.
He was a little more angry than like sentimental or like
those
saddened.
Acting classes paid well.
It was more of god damn it kind of thing, which is why if it's a diamond ring.
Oh, his Hall of Fame.
Because the other thing too
that Dusty has.
Because the other thing too, just gonna throw this out too. MJF did cost Cody his AEW championship.
I don't think he'll be salty about that. Still, I don't think he'll be salty about that. Time has passed, and this. There was also. I'm just saying, there's story potential there. They can pull from things. I get it. You believe
not
in the MJF.
Too far out.
I get it. You believe in it.
Look, here's the thing. CM Punk returned to the WWE. Anything is possible.
No, I get that.
You're not wrong.
But I get that. And if he does, I honestly rather have him over here anyway, because I feel like they could do a lot more with him.
Yeah, but, to be honest, the more I'm thinking about it, and the more like I just kind of talk about it more, I'm more on board with MJF coming to WWE now than staying over at AEW.
Hey, if MJF could wait until December, where it is full reigns over in the Netflix side, if he could wait until December where he could be full in his character or whatever Triple H wants to do with him, then I'm all for it. Because I feel like that would be better at the time for MJF to actually be who he wants to be, where they don't have to worry about the bleeping or the character or too much aggression from his character that he was in AEW. That's one thing I would say, that if he actually does eventually come, MJF, wait like 6 more months.
Honestly, I'm only gonna have to disagree only because they've been letting people go off and say what they've been wanting to say lately. So even if MJF, the thing about MJF is he's smart. So even if he has to filter himself a little bit to get his message across, he can do that because he's very good on the mic. He's probably one of the best people on the mic, period. period. I will say in pro wrestling, the guy's very skilled. That's like one of his best strengths, and he's also very great in the ring. He proved a lot of haters wrong in that department. So even if he has to filter himself that way, he can still get his message across. But even if he wants to say a couple things, like Triple H said in that impulsive interview, if it calls for it, then do it. Which MJF normally doesn't have to go that extent unless it gets to that level.
Yeah,
So
like that.
he can
like
very
that pipe
well.
bomb-esque thing that he did against Tony
Yeah.
Khan, where he called him a bleeping mark. Like
Yeah,
again,
yeah, exactly.
SpongeBob taught us that these words are sentence enhancers, and they enhance your sentence for a reason.
Yeah,
But you know what? We could be sitting here speculating all day, every
Yeah.
day, on what The Rock gave Cody with this. But this was basically the biggest story from the night. I mean, we had some matches going on. We had most of the backstage segments kind of leaned into some of the matches too, and some story
Yeah.
progressions as well within the people in those matches. But we're gonna start off with this number one contenders match for the World Heavyweight title. We had Ricochet versus Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed versus Drew McIntyre. This match was really good. Lots of action going on. Lots of multi-man action too, especially near the end. But we got to talk a little bit about Drew at the beginning of this. Before the match even started, he just goes out to the ring and he is livid, and rightfully so, but also like, dude, you kind of brought it on yourself too. So
Yeah, I was gonna
sorry
say
about your
that
bad luck.
because yeah, I was gonna say that because even like going into this, he pretty much
Mhm.
brought himself to be in the position he's in now. Because even though he doesn't want to admit it, he was obsessed with CM Punk. He kept bringing him up every
Mhm.
single week, even if it didn't matter. If you look at it this way, Seth was obsessed with what was going on between the bloodline, and that should have been like a Cody thing, realistically. Not saying it had to be, but if you're looking at it from a different perspective, that should have been like a Cody thing. Like Cody should have just focused on that. Seth should have just focused on his match that he had with Drew at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
But because of Seth's obsession with The Rock and Roman Reigns, it put him in a position where he faced Drew the following night, and it's not like it was later in the evening. He was like the opening match of night 2, so you're coming off a night 1 main event, and then the next day you're opening up the match against Drew McIntyre. Now you put yourself in that position where you're in a weakened state and you lose your title, and then you go with Drew where he has that obsession with CM Punk, always name dropping him, always making fun of him, always bringing up all these different kinds of things with CM Punk. He eventually beats Seth in that match, and then he could have just walked off with the title because he's been very vocal about that, wanting to be his moment to win the big one in front of a whole bunch of fans. But he decides to go to CM Punk, rub it in his face, act like a jackass, stuff like that. And then that's when CM Punk catches him off guard. He trips him. He takes off his brace. He starts beating him up with it. And then that's why Damian Priest took that opportunity to go out there, cash in on Drew, and win his title. So for Drew coming out there and getting all pissed and stuff like that, I get why you're pissed, because anybody in that position, if they won a title, they got it taken away from them, they would be pissed. But at the same time, you brought yourself in that position. Even at what we saw towards the end of that match, where he was about to hit the Claymore to take out Jay, you brought yourself in that position because all of that shit that you're saying at Punk, each week that you've been saying all those things about Punk, you're getting a shot fired. The first time, you got your title costed. And then the second time, Punk holds his leg so he can't hit a Claymore. That's your second shot. Now you lost your number one contender spot to face Damian Priest to actually get a chance to win that title back. So it's like, you're doing it to yourself, man. So if you want to blame someone, you got to blame yourself. You can't blame Priest, because if the three of us were in Priest's position, me, Vash, or even Watkins himself, I'm pretty sure we would all go out there and cash in too.
Oh,
So it's like
100%.
you can't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
blame him for doing that. Yes, you can blame him for taking that moment away from you, but you brought it upon yourself. You're in this position
Yeah.
because of what you did, and like they say all the time, actions have consequences, and this is his consequence for shit talking CM Punk.
Yep. And I do want to at least shout out just another thing too, like as much of a heel as Drew kind of is, even though he's justified in his actions, I do at least
he
want to
is.
point out that he does still at least have some honor because they at least mentioned this like thank you from Seth that he got at the end of the match.
Yes.
Like he at least acknowledged that and was just like, you
Yeah.
know what, that was a Warriors moment, and like kudos to Seth. I respect you for that. Like I don't know. It's things like that that just adds more character to my wrestler. It's not like, oh, I am the justified heel. It's like, no, you're Drew McIntyre. Like
Well-
rightfully so. When he was coming out to the ring, it was like no like taunting, no playing to the crowd or anything like that. Even when he was talking, he's just like, no, this is a message for Punk. I am pissed. Like, yes, be in character, stay in character, be what you should be. Like, that's natural, that's human. Yeah, like I believe you are Drew McIntyre, not the Scottish warrior Drew McIntyre. Like, no, you're Drew McIntyre. You're Scottish, you're a warrior, but you're Drew McIntyre.
Him walking down the ramp in a speed that he doesn't do usually, like he enjoys the crowd. He walked straight down the ramp with anger. He went for the mic. He knew what he wanted to do. He had a mission and a goal. And I love how the commentary throughout the whole match, they kept saying, Drew out first. And throughout the mic, he said, last night was a complete under of 5 minutes and 46 seconds. That's what Drew said. But throughout the night of the commentary, Michael Cole and Pat McAfee kept saying, like, he lived his 5 minutes and 40 seconds of his life. But then Drew told the audience, it's longer than your 5 minutes in bed. I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
I did not expect that from Drew, but I love it. Him coming out and not giving a flying fuck and literally telling the audience, like, hey, I have 5 minutes of fame more longer than you guys did. And that's what it was telling the audience. And I love that. It showed for the night. Like, I literally could have been found with Bronson Reed or Ricochet. Because Ricochet, oh, by the way, man, big shout out to Ricochet in this match. Because this man was being thrown around by Bronson Reed and Drew McIntyre. From left to right to the side of the rings, this man Ricochet was being thrown like a rag dog. I saw my Twitter and I was asking myself, why is Ricochet being thrown around like he's just a piece of cloth? And that's what's happening. But he kept getting back up and he kept doing the moves he did, and I love it. The flip on the table on Bronson Reed was an amazing
Oh, that
spot.
450?
Yes.
Yeah.
The
They
way
gave me HBK
was
vibes.
great.
yes, like the way he looked. He's like, he saw Jay. He looked around, and then he saw Bronson Reed, and then he looked. He's like, yo, guys, I'm about to go do it. And he just got on the rope, did the spot. But I felt that Rib was hurting for the rest of the night. The way he got up, he's like, I couldn't tell if that was a sell or if that was actually genuine pain that he was having on his rib. He was just there, and I was like, yo, that was a great spot. That's a great flip. Bronson Reed, I felt like he could have been the winner. Like, if it wasn't Jey Uso,
He could have.
Bronson Reed, I would have believed him being the next winner because this was his moment. He had a main event, Raw after Mania. He was the #1 contender. He's being pushed. By the way, the promos for Bronson Reed, Jey Uso, and Ricochet was really nice. But out of the three, my favorite promo out of these three tonight was definitely Bronson Reed. It felt like he was hungry. It felt like he was motivated. You felt his ambitious across the screen, and I really liked that very much.
Yeah. And I also like too, when Drew's finishing off his promo at the beginning, who is it that cuts him off but Jey Uso?
He was flipped. He was mad.
Oh yeah, it's just one of those things again, just like rubbing salt in that wound of his, just like oh god, just like anything that could have just gone wrong for Drew McIntyre in the past 24 hours has gone wrong. It's just like, oh great, I won my world title. Oh, then I get cashed in on. Oh, I'm about to be the number one contender for the world championship. Oh well, CM Punk's back to distract me and cost me from that, which Punk. I feel like Punk is just trolling Drew now,
Oh yeah.
just a
Oh,
little bit more, just like kind of going the step above and beyond. Which
and he's
man,
having fun with
I
it.
love trolling Punk.
Yeah.
Drew
Oh
is having,
yeah,
not Drew. CM Punk is having a blast. Just him coming out, holding the leg, smiling, and just being on top, seeing Jay win, and just CM Punk just doing the yeet, like yeah, my boy won. I'm proud of him. And just seeing Drew mad, and just seeing Punk having a smile, and it's like yes, I'm the one that caused you. You're gonna keep talking shit. You're gonna keep coming at me. I'm gonna come back at you and cost you your wealth. Like it reminds me of Jay and Jimmy, of Jimmy costing everything to Jay. CM Punk is doing the shit to Drew, but Drew started it. Drew's the one that started the bullshit, and boy
hmm
CM Punk is like, alright, cool. You wanna have a laugh? I'm gonna have the last laugh. You are not gonna get no title shot. So I'm really curious to see how this is gonna continue. But out of the winner of Jay, I was kind of shocked because I'm really curious to see how the match between Jay and Damian Priest will go, if it happens next week or the following, or if it's going to be a backlash. Because I was hoping for Bronson Reed. I feel like that would be an interesting type of dynamic chemistry between Bronson Reed and Damian Priest. Jay Uso, how do you guys feel about him actually being the winner to be the number one contender?
It honestly makes sense only because I know deep down he's not gonna win because I feel like what they're trying to do is honestly I wouldn't be surprised if they do save this match for Backlash because it's very possible they could because they're getting it
hmm
to the point where they, gotta start building up to another PLE. But I also feel like since we're having that Clash at the Castle in Scotland, they might end up having Jay lose that match, and then you'll probably have Priest and Damien because there's already a lot of history there at Scotland, and maybe that's when Drew gets it back, and then probably in that summer because there's that famous saying, the summer of Punk. Maybe you'll finally get that match at SummerSlam between Drew and Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh yeah.
I like the
Oh, and
speculation. Yes, I
you
like
could
that.
have Drew. If Drew wins it at Clash of the Castle, you can
It'll
kind
be
of
full
have
circle
him. You can
moment.
have him. Well, like you can have him troll even more, being like, "Oh, this is the summer of Drew. This is actually going to be a summer." Like you can kind of have him lean into that too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. That would be really
Yeah.
good.
The
Um,
merch,
yeah,
the
Jay
merch,
winning is
the merch
fine.
that he's gonna
Yeah.
come out saying Drew Summer.
Oh
It will actually
man.
work. Drew Summer, it will work. By the way, Drew McIntyre, if you actually make that shirt, I want my royalty. I want my royalty for that.
Right.
1 second, I hear something in my house.
Copy that.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, no worse.
I
No,
just
you're
want
good.
to make sure nothing bad's going on.
Copy that. All good.
You're good.
Appreciate that.
Copy.
I hope it's all good on your end. But Drew McIntyre in Scotland, I'm all for it.
Mm.
Jay being the one to be the number one contender, I'm all for it. I know that he's gonna lose. That's
Yeah.
the thing that I'm upset about because I want more of him to be there, to be in the spot. But hey, not Drew, Jay and Damian Priest to put up a match. Really curious to see how it's gonna go. All right, I'm really excited for it.
I am as well. I can't wait. And I mean, overall, this match was pretty good. I mean, a lot of good spots, a lot of good multi-man spots. I think probably my favorite part is just this little super kick party
I
we
was about to
get
mention that
with
one. Yes.
just everybody. Like we had Ricochet and Jay super kicking each other. They were super kicking. They
Bronson
did like
Reed.
double super kicks on like Bronson Reed and Drew McIntyre. Then they did like a triple super kick and all that on Drew. Like I don't know, that spot was just so much fun. That
But
whole
then,
sequence was
but
just so
then
much
Jade
fun.
tried to do the super kick to Ricochet, and Ricochet said, "Nah, not today," and then turn it back to him. I love that reversal. That reversal was
Hmm.
smooth.
Oh yeah, it was really good. It was really fun. But I mean, yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like this whole uh fatal four-way match, it was just a lot of fun. Again, it
It
just
was.
we're piggybacking off of the fun that we had from WrestleMania and the fun that we were having tonight. Because like that's the thing, we had this breath of fresh air, this new feeling going on here in on Raw. So I don't know. I don't really have much more to say about this match. Again, I'm happy Jay won because we could maybe do something more with that. I don't know if the Bloodline's going to get involved because yeah, we had the match with Jimmy at WrestleMania, but that doesn't mean he's going to stop or he could stop. I mean, we also had rumors of The Rock making his own version of the Bloodline with these new signings that they got of what was it, Jacob Fatu?
Yes.
Yeah. Like him making his own version, like kind of replacing Jimmy and Solo. Like, what if that guy goes and attacks Jay and costs him the title? Like, that could also still be part of it too. Like that could be how he loses it. But I am happy that Jay won. I would have loved to see anybody else, but I'm cool with this.
Really curious to see what goes on with Bronson Reed for the next couple months.
Hmm.
Ricochet, like we have spoken about, will be getting the speed title if it continues on for the next couple of weeks. Because for those that don't know, WWE Speed will continue this Wednesday at 12
Yeah.
p.m. EST. And we're not sponsored by WWE. I'm just giving that promotion just for you guys to be aware.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, make sure you tune in on Twitter.
But
Cool. So
what you can
let's move
tune
on.
in for such a short match that which was longer.
Oh man. So on paper, this looks fantastic. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ilya Dragunov. Let's go with that kind of action, that kind of hard hitting, just slobber knocker fest of a beatdown that could be. Reduced to like about 5 minutes or so after entrances and all that. But you know what? What we got
It
was
felt like 10
fine.
minutes. I will say this, that I
Yeah.
agree with Drop. He's saying that the great thing about Dragunov is that when you see him compete, you feel those matches being long. And that's great to
Hmm.
say because
Yeah.
that's what
Then.
this match was. It felt like 10 minutes. It didn't feel short. Like in reality, it was short, 5 minutes cuz we
Mhm.
were in commercial free until 9 o'clock. The match started at 8:49. The match was done
Mhm.
at 8:55.
Yeah, like this was really quick, and you may hear us say, "Oh, well, the match felt like it was 10 minutes," but like that's not in a bad way. It felt like 10 minutes because you're taking on this, in real time, very short journey, but you're just taken on this journey that you're so enthralled in and just so invested in that it does feel like a lot more time passed, but it didn't. It's like, how did you do that, Dragunov? How did you do that? Drop. We're talking about Nakamura versus Dragunov right now.
How did you
All five
feel
minutes that we got of it.
about your NXT champion who won on Stand Deliver and retained his title? How did you feel about his first appearance on Monday Night Raw?
It honestly went as I expected because
Hmm.
it's Ilya Dragunov at the end of the day, so it's a harder obstacle to climb with just him in the ring. And like the good thing about him, and you'll definitely see once he gets on the main roster, and they did say he's gonna be part of the draft, and I'm hoping and praying that he does get drafted to Raw. Um, he pretty much he's like Gunther. He pretty much makes you feel like, once you're in the ring with him, you're pretty much locked in there and you have no way to get out because him and Gunther put on like one of the greatest matches ever. I think that match was like 43 minutes long with the NXT UK. But those
Hmm.
two
Oh yeah, it
went
was
back and
good.
forth. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was probably the first person to beat Gunther ever since he came into WWE.
Oh
Like he
wow.
beated him for that
Um,
NXT
Yeah, I
UK
think
championship
so.
that he had.
Yeah,
Because he
I
had
think
that
you're
for over
right.
like 800 plus days around that
Oh
time.
wow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wasn't aware. That's
Yeah,
insane
he held
because
that
So
thing for a
Ilya
while.
is a force to be reckoned with. That's why a lot of people are saying, as soon as he gets up on the main roster, he's going to be a monster.
he was a monster for this
Yeah.
match.
And they already,
He put down the one H bomb. I love that H bomb move. Like the way he just executes that. It reminds me of Carrie off the rope when girl does her elbow drop. So it reminds me a lot of that. Like the way Dragunov executes that H bomb. It was really nice. I did not know about his torpedo move. It must have slipped over my head. But I was
The torpedo Moscow.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was not aware of that.
yeah, it's a fun move. It's a fun move in 2K24.
oh
I'll say
yeah.
that. I
Hmm.
gave it. I gave
And
it to my
trust me,
creative
Vash,
character.
he gets very vicious too.
Oh yeah,
Oh
I've seen it.
yeah.
One of the matches that I love so far of his that I've seen, it was a match with him and Dijak, I think last year or earlier this year.
I would
Mm,
even check out the whole trilogy he had with Mello last year too.
Oh yeah, those were really nice
yeah.
as well. Those were amazing matches. So Nakamura and Dragunov, great match, short match.
Yeah.
I felt bad for Nakamura, but by the way, hearing both of these intro songs back to back was amazing. Just hearing Nakamura's like, dun,
Oh,
dun, 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 dun. And then after that, hearing Dragunov,
and
dun, 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 dun. I was like, yes, I didn't know I need this to be hype, but these two songs back to back will be added to my playlist. It was amazing.
oh,
Mm.
and the camera angle we got for Nakamura's entrance.
The tilt,
Oh,
the tilt hand shot.
that was
Oh,
done really nice.
chef's kiss.
That was done
Chef's
really
kiss.
nicely. Oh, it was so good. But yeah, much like that match, not much to talk about, not much to bring home about with it. So we're gonna move on to some Judgment Day segment time.
Mm.
They had a nice, fun little in-ring segment where, hey, let's celebrate the victories we had. Those victories being Damian Priest cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase and Rhea Ripley retaining her Women's World Championship. And also going to throw this out too. Becky and Seth both not on the show tonight.
Yeah, they're taking a nice
Yeah.
4-week vacation.
Yeah, I did see that Seth's gonna be gone for a month.
It's been rumored that he'll be
Yeah.
gone for 4 weeks. That lands extremely on the money, on the dot, on Monday Night Draft. So that'd be very
Well,
interesting.
after Backlash, yeah.
Yes. So that'd be interesting
Yeah.
that if he actually comes back around that time. But hey, Seth and Becky, take your vacation, take your time, travel, take a
Mhm.
spot day, take a spot vacation, take an ice bath. You guys deserve it. You guys have been pushing division. And Damian Priest, that man, that suit was amazing. That suit looked beautiful. Like that
Oh
red suit.
yeah.
By the way, he has a new
It was
song.
clean.
He didn't come out on the
Yeah.
Judgment Day song either.
No, he had a new
Mhm.
song, yeah.
So that was
And I
pretty
think a
nice.
new Archer thing too, like the AR, like the augmented reality thing that they have up for
I didn't notice
everybody.
it.
Like I think it was like a new Archer dude, or at least like a new design for his with Judgment Day, because like they all wear cloaks on their entrance when they have like the entrance graphics going.
Totally missed that.
Yeah.
I love to
So I
see
guess-
the Judgment Day stood together as a faction.
Mhm.
Love to see them involved or rise for the Judgment Day. To see Edge's vision of having Rhea and Damian Priest in the beginning. Edge technically made 2 World Heavyweight Champion. He literally made them, and I love that for them to see them. I wonder if Edge probably texts them during that weekend of WrestleMania saying, "Hey, I'm proud of you guys. You guys did a fantastic show," or something like that, because they did an amazing moments for both of them, and I'm so happy for them.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he still reaches out to them and talks to them. They always do.
Oh yeah. But, they're all celebrating happy-go-lucky, even though, they lost the tag titles, but we got some world championships in our ranks, which is great, which is awesome. But wait a minute. Maybe they actually do have the tag titles in Judgment Day.
Because
look who comes out. The best member of Judgment Day. Truth comes out to celebrate with the Judgment Day
And also
for winning the tag
the
titles.
crowd screams, he's in it, or some variation of that, like he's in it or he's part of it. Like throughout the night,
Yeah.
the crowd was screaming that R-Truth was inside the Judgment Day. So that was hilarious. I did not expect that to actually be pop up from the Judgment Day. And the Miz,
Mm-hmm.
I love it during the stream. Watkins was like, wait a minute. R-Truth is in his gear. The Miz comes out in his gear. Three of those people are in the gear. Are we about to have a 6-man tag or like a 2-man tag? And I was like, oh shit, you are right. They're prepared. So this is going to be a random, spontaneous match happening right now, but planned. So I love how that just actually coordinated so well. And I love how the Miz acknowledges still, hey, R-Truth, are you not talking about little Jimmy? Like, no, I'm talking about that guy that's not here, but he's invincible right now. And me and Walkers were both like, so John Cena. So John Cena, because that's technically the only guy that is a run-on joke that we cannot see. He said no to little Jimmy, so the only other invincible man that supposedly gets to be seen by R-Truth is his childhood hero, John Cena. For the first time, they tag team ever, and I love that. It's crazy how in the 20 years, R-Truth and John Cena never tag team once.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I had to check Cage Match because I'm like, there's no way they never have. And yeah, it says no. It said no matches on there. I'm like, oh, huh, interesting. Well, okay then. History was made yet again today, folks.
I love how this is the last. I don't know how long R-Truth got, but for this man to be 50 plus years old and to still be moving as he is. I love how Triple H is ending the career of R-Truth in a nice bow, nice beautiful bow to send the flowers of what R-Truth has done for the last 30 years of his career, to be part of this, to be involved, and to just like wrap everything, give him his Mania moment, give him the champion, give him to wrestle with R-Truth and The Miz. Like, I didn't expect to see John Cena tag team with The Miz again as well. It's been so long to actually see John Cena tag team with The Miz. And to actually see all three of them smiling, to see R-Truth just hugging out John Cena in this moment. It was amazing. It was beautiful. Like, at first, it was said, it's a handicap, 2 versus 3. We have no other point. Like, come on, guys. We know John Cena about to swoop in, wrap up this match in the next 2 minutes. This man must be tired from last night. This man must be out of breath. This man's about to put his
past his bedtime.
Exactly. Like, this man about to put that 2-minute match, come in, run down the ramp, and just boom. And the attitude adjustment from these three and the 5-knuckle shuffle, aka not 5-knuckle, it was a 15-knuckle shuffle. And I never expected that. It was amazing.
Now, Drop, I do have to ask you this. How weird is it that Miz and John were kind of buddy-buddy?
Yeah, like, I noticed that too.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, they just don't care about each other at all. Yeah.
Like, it kind of... It didn't really take me out of it too much, but I'm just sitting there like, oh, this is awkward.
Like, but I feel like they kind of hash it out. I feel like, things are good now over the years. Like, a lot of relationships got cleaned up, CM Punk with many other superstars. So I also felt the same, like just seeing John Cena and The Miz team up together. It was like interesting because they had a feud back then. They didn't like each other. It was known. But now just seeing them all hug each other out. Like, yeah! Ooh! Yeah. Put the hand up! Let's go! Yeah! Just get your moment. But
it's mainly in like kayfabe though. It's like
the
Miz's character is like, oh wait, you have like despised John Cena to the point where like you had a skit with your wife about John Cena and Nikki Bella, like which I highly recommend going to watch. It's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, in like a bad cringy way.
Rory.
But yeah, now Cena comes in for his 5 moves of doom, and that's all she wrote. He fills his 2024 quota of 1 match a year.
Well, who knows
Yeah, I
by the
mean,
end of the year? Who knows?
good
Like,
match.
like you said, that if Hollywood
Yeah.
slows down at the year, he has one more run. I said it during the sidecast that I'm hoping to see that his last run, his last opponent is Randy Orton. That's my hope.
That would be
He
cool.
he did mention on the Pat McAfee show that he's booked up until December. So probably
Mhm.
like 2025, he probably wants to do whatever he can, and that's probably going to be the last of Cena.
Yeah. I could see it like starting like a little bit. Yeah, probably like maybe Rumble of 2025.
And then lead
Mhm.
to
And
Mania. Perfect 5 months or
ma-
4 months.
maybe, or like it, man, if he wanted to, if he was able to, just have just one more year, like one more full year from like 2025 Rumble to 26 Mania. Like
Question.
that would be a great
I
run.
have a random thing
But
at the
I'm
top
not
of my
him,
head.
so
What happened if
eh.
that People's Champ title actually becomes a significant, but it becomes like an icon title? It becomes where The Rock, Randy, John Cena, only the icons, only the legends could go for it. Where, like, maybe, what you guys think? Like an icon title, like maybe
Hmm.
that's what a People's Champ, where John Cena, like, where they don't have to go for the WE title, they don't have to go for the World Heavyweight title, the United States, the IC title. But what happened if the People's Champ title that The Rock has becomes more significant? Where, like, okay, The Rock has it. Any of the icons or legends that comes back, like John Cena, Undertaker,
Mhm.
Randy, or something that brings it where they don't have to put on a full 20, 30, 40-minute show at Mania or a Rumble or anything like that, but they could still put a 20-minute match or less for like a People's Champ title, because they are the People's Champ. They are the Mount Rushmore for many of our audience for these type of legends. So what you guys think of that? I just thought of that. What you think? Maybe? Yeah? No?
I don't really think they're gonna do that, only because that was something passed on from Ali's family to The Rock. That's more of a personal memento that he passed on to him, and he has Rock's logo like all over that thing. So I don't really think that's gonna be something where you're gonna be defending and everything like that. And we don't need like 3 world titles.
No,
Like it's
not at
more of
all.
like it's like we mentioned before. It's more of a prop for The Rock just to carry around. That's all it is,
Mhm.
really.
Yeah, exactly. But
If
yeah,
anything,
face
Cena would
team.
just go after one of those. If Cena wants to like end it off with a bang, he'll just go after the other 2 titles if he wants to
Mm.
get that 17.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and hopefully, man, I.
It would
So
mean
my
it would
my
mean more if
fantasy
he won
booking.
a legit title.
Yeah. See, my fantasy booking with it does involve Randy, but it also involves him like quickly winning the world title twice, and then
Yeah.
somehow him and Cena facing each other for a vacant world title.
Mm.
Like they're both tied at 16, and like for some reason they're fighting for a vacated world title. So it's just like it's literally not only does the winner get the vacated title, but the winner also breaks that 16 world title streak.
Mm.
Anyways, but that's just fantasy booking.
Mhm.
And again, face team wins, beat down Judgment Day, cool, awesome. Judgment Day is not done yet for the night because Liv has attacked Rhea Ripley backstage. She pressed that circle button with that chair.
Bro,
She threw it,
she
and
threw a fucking chair like she fucking yeeted. She literally,
right,
I was showing it on the sidecast. I was showing it walking like fucking 5 times. I was showing it like phone wise. I was like, yo, did you see the way she yeeted this chair to her head? Like, yo, here, bah, bah. I was laughing so
right.
Yeah.
It was, oh my gosh, it was crazy. Like, but hey, I guess the revenge tour starting or restarting, continuing.
Yeah, that's
One of
probably gonna
those
be a
two.
backlash feud.
Oh, that's definitely gonna be a
Hmm.
backlash fluid. And like, by the way,
Yeah.
again, shout out to that scene, the way it happened when we had the chair growing, we had Liv going, smacking her down, push her down against the wall. Dominic comes in like, hey guys, give her space, and then does this beautiful slight push for the camera, and the camera said, okay, You push us. We're gonna continue moving down the hallway. Goes to the live audience, and then gets out to the live audience and shows the live audience back to the ring. And then what does it transition to?
Mm-hmm.
Watkins, what does the transition to where the camera goes to?
Oh yeah, we just started right going into freaking Indi Hartwell in the ring, just chilling in the ring, waiting for her next match, which was a very short match against NXT's very own women's champion, Roxanne Perez.
Mhm.
Very short match. Unfortunately, on my end, my satellite decided to reset itself, so I didn't get to see too much of it besides like what was being shown on our stream. But from what it looked like Candice tried to interfere to try to help Indy win.
Try? She
Didn't really
did.
work out too well.
She succeeded
Yeah.
It's
in the
kind of
interference.
it's kind of funny that she's like trying to help out another heel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like, oh, you're okay. Good on you,
Yeah.
Candice, I guess. All right.
Look, I don't got much to say on this match because I do like Indi Hartwell and I do like Roxanne. Sucks to say right now at this moment, I have no 2 cents towards Candice LeRae. I have nothing against you or anything about you that I like. So far, this feud is just kind of slowly building. That the betrayal of Indi Hartwell for Candice, maybe a little one-on-one fights sometime down the line in the next couple of weeks. But for Roxanne,
Mhm.
so happy for her to appear, so happy for her to premiere on Monday Night Raw with the NXT champion. She felt the love from the audience. She felt a great moment for what she was producing in this moment of her and coming out. She knew that she was the it star. She had this match, and she did her finisher. I forgot what was her finisher called, top of my head, but she executed that so
Pop
well.
rocks.
Pop rocks, thank you very much, drop. So she executed that so well. She came out and won, and she was a star. But right after is what I love the most. The line that our girl Natalia said to her, like, "Hey Roxanne, I'll see you tomorrow at NXT." And I love Roxanne's response. She's like, "No, I'll see you tomorrow on my show," and just walk away. I was like, yes, that's the bad bitch. That's how you respond, knowing that you are the person that you are and you're showing up. I love that. Like you was the champion. This is your show, and I love that. Like that was just showing the dominance of who you are. Even though I don't know why Natalia's showing up, but still, I just love that.
Well, Natalia just goes where she wants to go. But
Mhm.
yeah, so like I mean, yeah, the really the only thing I have to say about this match is just with the story stuff. It's like, okay, where are we leading towards this? Because like there's a couple avenues. It could either be, Indy and Candice break up and they have a feud against each other, or it could actually
That's what it's
be.
feeling like, honestly.
Mhm. Well, there's another end too where it's just like, okay, is Candice gonna try to actually, like, is Indy gonna start actually trying to cheat to win, and then she's realizing, oh wait, I actually do win when I start cheating. Okay, and it kind of slowly maybe builds Indy into like not like the full on angry heel kind of thing, but more like the, as I like to call, the chicken shit heel, who, they're cheating to win, they're doing anything they can to win. They're when they're a champion, they don't really defend the title at least honorably or anything like that. Like, could we be seeing Indy turning along with Candice now? Because I don't think we really have that many, at least on Raw. Not many of them are. Not many of the women are heel, or at least it doesn't feel like. I don't know. It feels like there's an imbalance somewhere within the women's
Yeah.
division, especially on Raw with allegiances and all that.
Hey, your Hunter.
Yeah.
Your Paul Levesque. We're waiting for you to announce our mid-card title for the women's division on the main roster. Because this is what Watkins is leading into. That we need something for the girls to fight for, or a better story for them. Because right now, this Candice one is kind of iffy. We're not interested, or like, where's it going with? So unless there's a title for the mid-card to feel more importance, to feel the girls that they're hungry for. Because we have a lot of unknown. Not saying that we don't know them, but we don't know where they're supposed to be. Where are they supposed to land? I know Triple H right now is trying to find the pieces, put them together. Who's next up and coming? The draft is coming. So right now, a lot of things are about to shake up. So the next couple of weeks, the next 2 months, is going to be cooking in the best way possible, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but let me ask you, Vash. Because we've talked about cooking earlier tonight. We talked about vegetables. Do you like squash?
I actually hate squash, but this type of squash I do
Oh.
not mind because this.
Oh, okay, even better.
Look. I'm gonna start off by telling the audience to tell you in the PG version what Paul Heyman said. Suck my effing D because Jade Cargill
What?
is not doing what AEW did. She's not doing squash matches. One, Chelsea Green is giving her a spotlight, is elevating Jade. Chelsea Green does not need this squash match for whatsoever. Jade came here to work. She's showing that she can still put anybody down, and she's showing the competition. This is the WrestleMania weekend. She was still here. She wanted to pop here with the Monday Night on Raw crew. And also, guess what? Chelsea Green she asked for this. She said, I need somebody. This is my moment. Somebody deserves this. Guess what? Jade Cargill did. She deserved this moment. She deserved the spotlight, and she took you down. At the end of the day, she came in for more of her entrance. She came in for the crowd. The crowd loved her. She showed the strength. She showed that she is the powerhouse that she is. Curious to see what happens before that, because we had Ava, the GM for NXT. We had the GM Nick Aldis for SmackDown and the GM for Adam Pearce of Monday Night Raw. Their chemistry, I like that. I like how they will all be respectful to each other when it comes to the draft. I love how, like Walken said during the sidecast, how they was treating NXT like a third brand. Not really much more as a development brand, but now starting to become like a development with the third brand itself. It's starting to hold itself together as its future brand to just hold on its own 2 feet. And I love that.
Yeah, and I do like the setup for this match. It's just, GMs are talking, and Chelsea's like, oh, excuse me, I wasn't on WrestleMania. How dare you? I deserve to be on WrestleMania. And it's just like, okay, well, don't worry. You got a match. Oh, the match is over. Okay, great. Awesome. Again, it's just to showcase Jade just a little bit more, showcase her power, give her, hey,
1 minute.
look, now she's 2-0. 2-0 now. But yeah, I mean, Drop, did you have anything you wanted to comment on this squiggity squash match?
Not really. It was just more of it was just another body for Jade, really.
Yep.
To
Yeah,
help
pretty
build her
much.
legitimacy.
Yep. And don't worry, everybody. I will be keeping a counter of Jade's wins. So we are now, and that means every tag team match too. 2-0, 2-0 right now for Jade Cargill.
Hey,
Let's keep that counter going up.
What I'm waiting for, yo, Jade, where's your one-on-one with Nia? That's what I'm waiting for.
They're probably
can't
going to
wait for
save
that
that
one.
for a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's continue building her up. Let's see what else next is for our opponent. And I can't wait to see that continue because we have Clash of the Castle next month. So Jade could be one of them there with Nia and other ones. My hope,
2 months.
2 months. 2 months.
Yeah, because we have Backlash next month, and we have
Backlash.
King and Queen of the Ring towards the end of May.
That's what I
In
meant.
Saudi.
King and Queen. That's the one I meant. That for Nia, Jade, and I want my prediction right now. Quick top of head for the Queen to win is Nia.
Interesting.
We'll
leave it at that then.
Yeah, because I need to see who's participating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Participants, once we get there and have the options, I'll have a better prediction. But just top of my head,
Yeah.
right there, just throwing a hat in the ring.
Yeah, because when it comes, because the thing about the King and Queen of the Ring is you don't only win that title, that also gives you a guaranteed title shot as well.
Oh, really? I wasn't aware of the actual stipulation of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. But you know who did get a guaranteed title shot? That's good old Chad Gable, because he helped Sami Zayn prepare for Gunta and taking that title away from him. But two little pricks did not like that, did they? No. The little Imperium guys,
Da
they
Vinci
hated that.
and Kaiser.
They hated it. They just wanted. They came out, interrupted Sami Zayn as he's also celebrating. Like every champion is celebrating tonight, which yes, they should. They earned their title shots. They earned their title wins. They truly deserved it, each and every single one of them. But Sammy didn't get to celebrate too long because again, Imperium came out. They wanted to have a fight, and Chad Gable came out for the save. Vash, you had called that one on our sidecast because
Hell yeah.
I thought it was gonna be Jay because like we saw them do the little handshake and it's just like, oh cool, great, but I also kind of forgot Jay was in the main event.
I said Jay was busy on that. My man had to prepare for
Yeah.
work. He's like, nah, I gotta put up a show. I gotta prepare, my.
I forgot he was in the main.
Yeah, like my stomach is pain from falling off the ramp. I'm hurt from last night. But
Yeah.
I'm so proud for Sami Zayn. I was like Samantha. I was been rooting for this guy for the long. He's been the underdog, and seeing him the champion, I'm happy. So thrilled to see him win. I love how he gave the flowers to also Gunther. He gave his flowers to Gunther during his speech. He said that you are the champion. You are the 606 champion. But he also gave flowers to himself. That he dethroned Gunther. He dethroned two reigning champions back-to-back in WrestleMania. The tag titles the previous year at WrestleMania 39. And this year at Night 1 once again for the IC title. So I love how he spoke about that. The highlight from so. Said that he spoke to KO. Spoke to seeing his mom. And I love how during the commentary, we even said is that Chad Gable didn't really give him the training course in the physical sense. I love how in the commentary and us saying that he gave him the training, the mental, to get him in the mindset to believe that once again that you are the guy that you are meant to win and be against Gunther. And he did it. He accomplished it. He went above and beyond, and I love that for him.
Yeah, he was able to just mentally play gymnastics against Gunther, and he was able to win. And I mean, it paid off. Paid off now, especially because now he has not only an ally but a match for next week in his home country. Like, oh, good luck on that one, Chad.
Oh yeah, the crowd's gonna be behind Sammy. We've seen that play out before. Elimination Chamber 2023.
Yep, and he's walking into the Lion's Den with that one,
Yeah.
or maybe the Beaver's Den since Canada. Yeah, we'll go with Beaver's Den. I like that. But anyways, so yeah, we have a tag team match here, playa. Sami Zayn, Chad Gable versus Imperium. Good match overall. Some interesting spots here, like especially with our picture-in-picture for this match.
I see your
It was just a sleeper hold. Yeah, it was just a sleeper hold the whole time. And then, like, as soon as we got back from... In fact, I think you made a comment, too, during our sidecast. As soon as we got back from commercial break, they broke the hold and moved on.
That's one thing I'm great. I'm proud of myself with my comments. I'm quick on the fly. I'm just quick with the speed. The way Watkins and us were watching the sidecast, we were like, oh... They're still in a hold in the picture-to-picture. And I'm like, oh, shit, damn. I remember a commentary a couple months ago. They said that once they go on Netflix and once they do the picture-to-picture hold, they will be on a sleeper hold throughout the whole time. And then me and Watkins are watching the picture-to-picture. I'm like, yo, that's what I remembered. And then once we came back, like, literally on the second, I was like, oh, shit, cool. Like, wait a minute. He literally got out the second. Once we came out the picture-to-picture, Sammy got out of the sleeper hold and did reversal. I'm like, did the cameraman have a light to let him know, like, you're off? Or did the referee, like, hey, we're gone. Boom. And, like, it was just perfect timing, perfect syncing. I wish I could know how, like, what was it on the camera side just to see how it all happened. It was just so perfect in that type of synchronization. It was amazing.
Oh yes, but yeah, again, this was a really good match. Chad had some interesting looking atomic drops he was doing. Like he was doing this thing where like when he lifted them, like when he would lift a Kaiser by himself, he kind of like also let them go at the top of it. So like they actually like with force of gravity landed instead of like being placed down like them hold like because usually whenever you see like a move like that they're still holding the target, I'll say. So you're still holding the target and then you bring them down like with your arms, where like Chad was kind of just throwing them up in the air and then they were just landing on his knee and all that. So that that just kind of looked a little odd to me, but a good way in the odd.
I
Um
really love the finisher combo that Chad Gable and
mhm.
Sammy did. Sammy tagged him back in. Sammy took down the Helluva kick on Vinci, I believe it was, and then
Mhm.
with Chad Gable, he finished him with a German suplex and with the bridge, and it was a 1, 2, 3 pin. I love that. It was such a nice double combo.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but Drop, how you feeling about us getting Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable next week,
I feel like that's
especially
going to be
with
a
it being
great
in
match.
Montreal?
Yeah, that's going to be
Hmm.
a great match. The energy is going to be behind him. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's like the main event of the show.
Oh, I
I
hope
wouldn't
so.
either.
I will hope
Yeah.
so. That is because it should be deserved. Like, but Gunther has had the IC title as a main event in a few times of Raw. So hopefully, Sammy can also produce a main
Yeah.
event as well with
Yeah,
Chad
that's the
Gable.
thing. Yeah, that's the thing because, like Sammy said earlier, he gave Gunther his flowers for how he elevated the title up to that level. And I feel like Sammy should continue doing that, which is like one of the things I
Hmm.
was hoping because whoever won that title, even if it wasn't Sammy, they had to keep the ball going because Gunther brought it to a level that it hasn't been in such a long time. And I'm
Yeah.
not talking about reigns, I'm talking about like that title feeling important, like it actually means something. Because you've had it like main event several Monday Night Raws, and that really tells you how much effort they're putting into that title. And the fact that they did decide to give it to Sammy, like they decided to have him um, dethrone Gunther. That's honestly the best option because if you want to have somebody that's like a fighting champion that's going to put on great matches and stuff like that, that's easily Sami Zayn.
I agree.
Yep.
I can't wait to see
I
what happens
I
next
agree
week.
full hard.
And I like the interaction with by the end when they went to the back. I also like the interaction between Chad and Sammy where Sammy's like, "Hey, so the favor you asked for, we even, right? Cause like you came and helped me out." Chad was getting like, "No, no, no, Sammy, what you talking about? Like that's not like, come on, Chad, I'm joking with you. I know you want
Yeah.
this. I know you want this title." And the way that the facial expression that Chad gave to the title, like he went from playing around to serious in like 2.5. He was like, yes, that's my precious. I want that. So I love that moment and the way that Sammy was like, yeah, I'll give you that 1-on-1. I can't wait for that match. Hopefully, it takes the main event. But those subtle moments is always what makes it more impactful. The body expression, the facial expression is what makes you feel like you can remember those highlights of moments.
Hmm. And it's not only just like a good thing to like it's not only just a good character moment for Gable because it's just showing him, okay, it does just mean more. Like again, going back to that phrase I was using before WrestleMania, it's like you just see it in his face being like, this thing just means more to me. But like you could also kind of tie that in just to everyone in that back, everyone in that locker room is just like, these people are hungry for these titles. They're hungry. They're starving for these accolades that will push them to even greater heights. Like it's this thrill. It's almost, man, it's in a way it's almost like a drug for them to just like constantly like push themselves to be better, to do better, and to be like the best versions of themselves. And the only way they can do that is by winning more championships and like gaining that accolade and having that title, of I am the intercontinental champion. Like that adds some sort of boost into your stats, however you may want to think about it. And I think Chad's facial expression with that really it spoke to me in that aspect because it's just like it's just reminding you like not only is this mindset just on Chad Gable, it's on everybody. Like they might have different levels of it, but everybody is hungry for that kind of recognition in this company and in this business. Ah man, but as much as I loved this show, because I did love this show. I did really like the show, and especially when I look back from last year and just the slog fest we got from all that. Like again, this show was really good. It blew by really fast. Like we got to like 10 o'clock, and I'm like, wait, how is it already 10? There's no way it's already 10. I should be like waiting for it to like wishing it was 10, and then even 10 o'clock just speeding by really quick. Like this show just went, and I mean we had 6 full not full matches, but like we had 6 matches within the 3 hours. Like that's if you want to break it down, that's like 2 matches an hour, and yet the first match didn't even start until like a quarter till 9. Like we had time with matches and action, and people was able to get to their spotlight.
As our recap of Monday Night Raw, I'm satisfied. I'm not salty, questioning. I was dead ass questioning drop last year. Like, yo, what the fuck was this Raw after Mania? It's just ass. John was telling me I recall to like I don't know myself either. This shit was all Vince and everything. This Monday after Mania, it was good pacing. It was good story. It was involved with the audience. Even though I could talk shit about The Rock coding his extra 5, 8, 10 minutes of him not talking, but it had the fights. It had the story. It had the moments. CM Punk at the end. Jade Cargill doing the squash. It had all these highlights. The IC title to set up next week. To set up moments of the #1 contender. We had Cody and his highlight, his moment with The Rock, that a possible feud to happen when he returns from his busy work of lineup. So this Monday after Mania is definitely an 8 out of 10 for me. I would have changed a couple things, improve a couple things, but as a viewer, a fan, as a critic, an 8 out of 10. To me, this show was fantastic, and it was phenomenal for what we had, from what we got.
All right. How about you, Drop? How'd you feel about this not go home episode? Oh my gosh.
Raw after Mania.
Raw after Mania. Whew. Sorry, people. I'm on like a couple hours of sleep, and we're wrapping up here.
I would say it's a pretty solid show. Like I definitely thought that now we're getting back to the pace of what a Raw after Mania should feel like, because I haven't really felt, a proper Raw after Mania for quite some time. So it's nice that we get a change here. It's nice that, we're setting some things up to build to the draft in the next couple weeks, which should be exciting. It'll definitely be a fun discussion to talk about once the time comes. Then, of course, building up to the next pay-per-view, which is Backlash, which is early next month. So, I don't know. I guess I would give this show probably like a solid 8. I would say.
Question.
Yep.
I was not here during the pandemic era. How were the Raw after Mania during the WrestleManias of those?
I wasn't here either.
Okay, so you guys weren't there either.
I missed the Thunder Dome
or aware of it.
So the lockdown one, like after 36, I honestly don't remember much of it.
Okay,
but
so
they
those are that forgettable.
They did have
your response could just say that unforgettable from you're not even remembering fractions or even small memories of it.
The thing is though, like, that's what I'm getting to. It's like they had a pre-recorded main event match because apparently after the main event the night before, which was Drew versus Brock for the title, and Drew McIntyre won, he got challenged for the title by the Big Show. So they had a match like after Mania had ended, and they aired the match on Raw the next night. So it was really weird, just that whole pandemic lockdown part of WWE.
That's
Yeah, they
interesting.
didn't really have many. Like they always hyped it up, but they never really had many surprises
No.
during that lockdown
Well,
part, and even a little bit after that too. Like
I'm
they were kind of lackluster.
I'm glad we're here, and I'm glad we're evolving to where we are now.
Hmm.
We're in the regime of Triple H. We're in the era of Cody's. We're in the era of the future is now. So I'm glad to see that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and you can see us because the future is now and the time is now. But yeah, I mean, I, guys, this is the end of our the end of our WrestleMania coverage. Because I mean, yeah, we
Well,
have SmackDown after Mania,
Friday
but I
counts
mean,
still, even though it's like 5 days later, but that is
eh,
still important because we have Bailey,
eh,
we have the new SmackDown titles, we have Downtown Under, and we have Cody appearing as a champion of the SmackDown show.
no, they just never really hype up the SmackDown after Mania.
Well, let's see.
Because like, well, okay, yeah, we'll see. See. So, but anyways, you guys can find all of our awesome other content that we've done for WrestleMania or anything coming throughout the week. Whatever happens this week happens. But I am going to take this time to thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. You can find AniMa W3 Studio on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, anywhere you like to be social. Just remember that is AniMa W3 with a 3. And also use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring to interact with us about anything regarding wrestling before, during, or after our shows. And, you know, you can talk to us about anything else. I'm still making my way through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Don't worry, I'll beat it eventually. Don't worry, shut up, everybody. I'll get there. I can talk about the story soon. Don't worry. It's awesome. It's great. I love it. Anyways, feedback is also always appreciated because we're nothing without you, and we love to grow our product as much as WWE has grown theirs in the past few years. Weebs of the Ring is presented by AniMa W3 Studio. Thanks to our production team of Vash, Watkins, Drop This Box, Rome with a Dot for the amazing artwork that he's done for us, and Jokester, who is holding down all the gaming content, soon to be coming back to a streaming service near you. As well, just a quick little special thanks to JB and Abe for everything that you guys do behind the scenes. Again, thank you for joining us, and remember, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good one, everybody.
I'll be live on Twitch on the sidecast for NXT tomorrow. Check me out.
So you guys have a good night.